The wall that you all know. They built a huge wall of 8,800 kilometers to prevent the northerners from attacking, most of which can still be seen. But this wall construction by the Chinese seems to be endless, and the Chinese need another wall. This time, not to prevent the attack of the northerners, but for the harsh nature of the north, such as the Gobi Desert. The attack of this desert on Chinese soil is much more dangerous than the attack of the northerners on China, and it must be prevented. China's arable land is very limited, and even though China's land is only 12% of the country's land, if 50% of America's land is arable, close to 50% of it is arable. Because the size of China is even greater than the size of the United States, which is only 12% threatened. And it is possible that the dragon of the Gobi Desert will attack at any moment. Of course, this progress is the habit of the greats. If you let them go, they will advance. And know that China currently has the largest population in the world, and after years of hardships, it can stand on its own feet in terms of agriculture and feed its people with that 12% of arable land. Of course, with the help of the technologies of the greenhouses that they have implemented. Most of these greenhouses are located in Xinjiang province. Xinjiang is a desert province, and besides, the desert is not arable at all. But the Chinese solved this problem in that province with the help of modern greenhouses. In these greenhouses, very high-quality products are obtained, such as tomatoes, onions, garlic, and watermelon throughout history. The most deaths that have happened to the Chinese are due to there was hunger, and they just reached a place where they at least did not die from hunger. But suddenly they realized that an evil monster called the Gobi Desert is advancing into China, so that if they do not stop it, it will turn most of China's agricultural lands into deserts. China itself had no shortage of deserts. Mehta said that in 2006. They were faced with a horrible statistic. They suddenly realized that every year 1,600 square kilometers of their green land is being swallowed up by the Gobi Desert. There are many deserts in the world, but this Gobi Desert is one of the driest from the South Pole. And this causes sandstorms to form there. Sometimes these storms are so strong that they even reach the city. Beijing will come to China if the desert is very far from Beijing. In 2006, the alarm sounded for the Chinese. They realized that if they do not stop this desert, not only the Chinese will starve again, but their country will slowly turn into a desert. It turns out that they have come to the conclusion that they should build a wall in front of this desert, the second Chinese wall, but this time not with bricks but with trees. A big decision is made in China that we should build a strong wall of trees in front of this desert, and calculate that they need 100 billion trees to complete this project. A project that will be completed by 2050. This wall is not as long as the Wall of China, but it is 4,500 kilometers long, but its thickness is not at all comparable to the Wall of China. China is facing a shortage of forests, and only 5% of the country's land is covered by forests, but when this project is completed, the percentage of forests China reaches 13.5%. There is a communist government in China which is a dictatorship and can determine which city I should live in and where I should work. The Chinese government is responsible for the implementation of this project. He has chosen and sent millions of people from China for this project. The name of this vast forest that is going to be built is Lushi. It will be the same as the Great Wall of China. This time it will be the Green Wall of China. They make the soil a bit cohesive. They start planting dry plants like desert thorns to stabilize this soil. It is true that the Chinese government sent those who were sent to this project by force, but with the good salaries it gives them, they are satisfied and are working. After the soil is stabilized with those dry plants, several types of trees are planted. There are 3. The persistence and organization of the Chinese is very good. They divide these regions, and each region has a leader who is trained how to green this region, and then those who work under that person are under the supervision of this leader. What is the stage of this wall now? By the time you are watching this video, nearly 3 billion trees have been planted, and now it is the tallest tree planted in a country. And a country like India has the second rank of tree planting, which has planted nearly 2 billion trees. But this forest is just the beginning, and these trees are going to reach 100 billion, as we said. This project started in 2006, and with the number of trees planted so far, the Gobi Desert has been forced to stop and is even retreating in some places. The cessation of this desert happened in 2021. Currently, about 13 million hectares of forest have been built. That is, the size of the entire country of Greece is forest. Although this project is not finished yet, it is considered a successful project because it has not only stopped the desert, but also completely changed the climate of that region. These trees have caused the annual rainfall to increase, and because of this, the desert has stopped and even has to retreat in some places, of course. Some Western experts take issue with this work of the Chinese and say why they chose pine trees, and their opinion is that if a disease occurs in pine trees, it can threaten the entire forest. This ravine has had an effect on the Chinese, and since then they have increased the variety of trees, and they are not all the same. These trees that have been planted so far have had a positive effect on the entire northern part of the country, but they have had a negative effect on the city of Beijing because Beijing is one of the most polluted cities in the world, and after the construction of these forests, it has become more polluted, and they say that this forest, it blocks the north winds and does not let the wind come. Despite the amount of pollution in Beijing, the positive advantages of this forest are much more than its negative points. And currently, only 10% of this forest has been prepared, but it has taken over the rank of the largest man-made forest in the world.